About 90% of what it takes to have a nice lawn is to make sure that your grass is getting the water that it needs to be healthy. But how can you know how much water your lawn needs or how much water your sprinklers are even putting down? The footage you just saw is from last summer when my lawn was healthy, but right now it's April and my lawn is just coming out of dormancy and I'm getting ready for the next growing season. In this video, I'll show you how to determine how much water you should be putting down on your lawn each week and how to see how much water your specific sprinklers are actually putting down on the grass. The first step of finding out how much water your lawn needs is the easy part. Your lawn's water needs will change throughout the year as the temperatures change. For cool season grasses like ryegrass or Kentucky bluegrass, a good rule of thumb is to add a half an inch for every 10 degrees of average daily temperature. Your lawn requires about 1/2 inch of water per week at 60 degrees. Add another half when temperatures are in the 70s for 1 inch per week, and another half for the 80s and 90s, and so on. Your local water conservation authority or agricultural extension may be able to provide accurate turf grass water evaporation rates for your area, but I've found that these general numbers align with my local area's averages. Next, you need to know how much your sprinklers are spraying. It's best not to guess or estimate based on sprinkler specifications because other things can make these specifications inaccurate for your installation. The easiest way to do this is to use something that most households likely already have, tuna cans. These are great because they have vertical sides, square corners, and flat bottoms, so that any water they catch can be accurately measured. Another option is to use these rain sprinkler gauges that stake into the ground. These are convenient because they have a ruler printed on the side. To perform the test, pick the sprinkler zone you are going to measure and lay your cans or cups out in a random pattern to get a good sampling of your overall water output. Run your sprinklers for 15 minutes. When finished, measure the water in each cup. Take note of any cup that has significantly more or less water than others. This might reveal a coverage problem that could require an adjustment to your sprinklers. Add up the amounts of water in each cup and then divide by the number of cups to get the average. For this demonstration, I can see that my cups averaged about 1/8 of an inch of water for that 15-minute watering period. So now it's time to calculate how long I need to run my sprinklers to make sure my lawn is getting enough water. If the daily temperature has an average high in the 70s, I know I need to be putting down about 1 inch per week. Since my 15-minute watering put down 1/8 of an inch, I need to multiply that 15 minutes by 8, which is 2 hours of watering per week for that zone. It's best to water the grass every 2 to 3 days so that the ground doesn't develop fungus and that the roots have a chance to get some air. But most important, healthy, resilient grass has deep roots. Spacing out your watering will train your roots to go deeper in the ground for water. This will make your grass much more tolerant to heat. But since there are an odd number of days in a week, I find it easier to calculate for 2 weeks of water. So let's change that 2 hours of watering per week to 4 hours every 2 weeks. If we do this, then when we water every 3 days, our weeks will alternate 3 waterings for 1 week and 2 waterings for the second. If we water every 2 days, then it'll be 4 waterings for 1 week and 3 waterings for the second. Okay, so now the calculation. To get 4 hours worth of water every 2 weeks, if we were watering every 3 days, gives us 5 days where we are watering. Divide 4 hours by 5 and we get 48 minutes for this zone. If we decide we want to water every other day, then we have 7 watering days. Divide 4 hours by 7 and we get 34 minutes for this zone. Now that we have all of this figured out, when the temperature increases, we can simply increase the amount of water we put down, which will help us to avoid the heat stress of summer. Something to keep in mind is that it's best to water in the mornings before the sun gets too hot. It's best if all your watering is done before 10 or 11 a.m. Also, if your ground doesn't absorb the water fast enough, you may want to split the watering time in half so that all your zones cycle through twice on your watering days to give the ground time enough to absorb the water. As mentioned earlier, adequate watering is 90% of having a healthy and strong lawn. But the other 10% is important as well. This 10% includes a good fertilizer program as well as efforts to control the amount of thatch buildup in your roots. Too much thatch can reduce the efficiency of water and fertilizer in its ability to make it down to your soil for the best benefits of your roots. I hope that this short video has been helpful in figuring out how much we need to water our lawns so that we can have them be green and healthy throughout the growing season. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this further, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching and have a great day.